You want to say good afternoon and once again, welcome to a brand new month, a new show, an amazing time. And listen, we are getting ready to have an amazing conversation as we talk about what is so important when you understand the power of dreaming and when you understand the mission behind the work of the dreamer. So I want you to go ahead on and tag and share. Let's get everybody in. I'm excited today to be joined in the studio with none other than one of our local voices here in the community that's making so many things happen for the betterment of our community and the empowerment of our people. None other than Pastor Rudy Ferguson. How are you, sir?
I'm well, Pastor, man. Thank you for the invitation, my brother.
Man, listen, I'm excited about having you. So listen, we're going to get ready to talk about some of the most important things that are happening in our city. And then we're going to talk about something that's happening just a few days, within hours from today. So this is what I need everybody to do. Go ahead on and tag, share. Those of you on Facebook, get on now. And those of you who are listening to the radio, call a neighbor, call a friend, let them know that the show is on the air. We're coming right back after this song, and we're going to get started on what I want to be declaring as one of the most informative shows in February. Why? Because it's the first one. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. Oh, God. Yeah, man. So listen, I want to talk about everything that you got going on.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just make it happen. Okay,
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, man, right there.
You ain't okay. You ain't good.
Yeah, I'm right there.
Okay.
Man, I don't use my whole fat body.
So man, how everything going good? Whew.
Greg, is
I can imagine.
Man, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
You just wrap
I mean, people don't understand that events, man, it takes a lot out of you.
No, man, it does. It does. Especially when everybody, when you got a table, you got a table. And then you got people that, well, I got my cousins coming in town from Chicago, and they want to. I'm like, this moon can only put so many tables out.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I just had to remind this ain't great.
Hey, Vern. Willie Williams is on. He's one of your honorees.
Yeah, man. Willie's on there. Yeah, definitely.
Wonderful.
This guy, man. Willie, he just got off 96.1 with Joe.
Oh, really?
Him and Christy was on there talking, man. That was good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's good, man. I like to get that little plug. Just that moment, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's also good for you and I, pastors, man, as we just continue we celebrate those who work along with us.
Absolutely.
Work along with them.
And that's the key, man. That it's so important that we take moments to celebrate what people are doing in our communities and doing in the lives of others. And they're doing it entirely and they're doing it unselfishly.
Yeah.
And that's what's so important, man. So I appreciate what you're doing and I appreciate everything that you have been doing. So we're going to get ready to dive into this thing, man. And kind of like, hey, listen, I want you to go ahead on and tag and share. I like the way our numbers are coming in, but let's get those numbers up. Tag, share, tell everybody that it's on. Hey, Christine. Okay, Christine done tuned in to us. Okay. All right, let's get everybody on. I understand you was on another show, so Christine, you cheating on me. Now, I'm going to have to do something about that. You cheating.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, now, we're going to have to handle that. You're going to have to find out where your conscience at. I'm going to have to find out where her conscience is.
That's classic.
Oh, man. Hey, man. We're going to have to find out. Yeah. So go ahead on tag and share. Let's get everybody in. Amen. Let's get everybody in for this wonderful, amazing broadcast with my friend and brother, Pastor Rudy Ferguson, as we talk about the I Am Gala. Mm-hmm. I Am Dream Gala. That's it. Wow, man. We're going to talk about how all that came about, and we're going to do it real shortly. That's right. He showed me my dreams. Joining me in the studio is none other than the pastor, community voice, activist. You name it, man. You're just an all-around guy serving the community, and not only serving the community, but you're celebrating others as you serve.
Yes, sir.
And so, really, I am excited to have you to talk about what's going to be happening on Thursday. But before I get to that, let me just give a big thank you to our Tallahassee, Leon County community for all of the support on Saturday morning
Yeah.
for the Tallahassee Leadership Prayer Breakfast. What an amazing time. It was just, I asked some people this morning, I made a post, and I said, if you was to describe the Tallahassee Leadership Prayer Breakfast in one word, what would that one word be? And I heard people say amazing, phenomenal, unified, mandate, awesome, prayerful. So just one word was able to describe it. Pastor, I want to thank you so much for your ministry being a part of Tallahassee Leadership Breakfast. What was your thoughts?
Oh man, I definitely enjoyed it, man. Every time I come, Pastor James, it's always a awesome union to see all of us from all backgrounds, from all religions, if you would, denominations, if I could say it that way, come together, man, in one place at one time for one common cause, man. And I thought that, and if I had to sum it up, I would say it was magnificent. Because we enjoyed the breakfast, we enjoyed the speakers, we enjoyed just the overall hospitality rather of everyone that was there, man. So it was great, man. Awesome job, my brother.
Yeah, well, you know what? And I think a lot of people are left feeling recharged.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was so to see the room and to see how the pastors and the leaders in ministry covered the room was so amazing to know that we are the watchmen on the wall. And we made that wall around everybody that was in that arena to let them know that whether it's business, whether it's political, whether it's nonprofit, whether it's government officials, whatever, we are the watchmen of the city.
Yeah.
And I think one of the greatest things that was amazing to me was I saw on the mayor's page where he said, like never before, we need our faith community leading us in prayer.
Yeah.
I thought that was amazing.
I did. I read it as well. I thought that was super superb. It's coming from, basically the senior leader of the city, you know what I mean? And that's important, because they're right. Prayer is essential.
It's essential.
My grandfather told me a long time ago, Pastor James, is that if prayer don't help, it sure won't hurt. And I believe right now it's helping.
It's helping. Yeah. It's helping. And I want to give a big shout out to Pastor Judy and Pastor Walker. I want to give a big shout out to them for, first of all, bringing everybody together to say, let's sound the alarm for prayer, and how we were able to intertwine all of our prayer initiatives under one banner. So I want to thank them. I want to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Indelible and Facing and Brook Figures, Leon County Sheriff Department, Tallahassee Leon Federal, Tallahassee Leon Credit Union, and City of Tallahassee. Man, thank you all so much for what you have done. And man, listen, behind the scenes, I want to give a big shout out to the man himself, Mr. Dr. Darius D. I mean, he's been with us for the last 7 years, making sure that, hey, things go the way they need to when it comes to the music. Anita Franklin did an amazing job. And Star Swain, I think she's just a part. She has just become ingrained into the Tallahassee Leadership Prayer Breakfast. And so it was an amazing time. Big shouts out to everyone who supported. I mean, all of the businesses. I dare not try to name them all, but I want to give a big shout out to the city of Quincy and the county of Gadsden, because all of them purchased tables, and to our federal judges who were there. Just amazing. Shouts out to all of you pastors. Thank you so much for your support. And we're excited about next month where we're going to be meeting, and you're going to hear more about that. So that's what it's all about, man. That was on Saturday. And now we're moving into the I Am Dreams Gala. How did that come about, man?
Well, I was thinking about it. It came about in 2017. The vision of getting our young people to dream again. Growing up, Pastor James, we had dreams. We wanted to be doctors, lawyers, policemen. We wanted those dreams with football players. And I believe what happened in the process of everything that's been happening in this country, in particular in our city, the kids stopped dreaming. They don't dream anymore. Now it's all reality what's in front of them. And we got to get them to look beyond their current situation. So I came up with an acronym with my team, and dreams just doesn't mean dream like you're sleeping. Dreams is something that's actual, it's tangible. And DREAM stands for determined to reach excellence and motivated to succeed.
Wow.
That's the goal. determined to reach excellence and motivated to succeed. And that's why we keep saying, I am dreams. I am determined to reach excellence and I am motivated to succeed.
Wow, man, that's amazing.
And that's the whole concept behind it. Is getting out, because we got two sets of people out there, Pastor James. You've got two sets of entities out there. You got the dream killers, and then you got the dream stealers.
Wow.
And the ultimate goal is to make sure that our kids' dreams aren't killed, and then make sure that also they're not stolen. The ultimate goal. So this is why the gala came along in 2018, which you were a recipient of the Nehemiah Award.
Absolutely.
And I wanted to make sure, man, that we honor those who are out here pushing the pavement, moving walls out the way, building new walls, and establishing new ground. You know what I mean? New opportunities. And so I believe it's always an honor to honor those who have just basically put their lives on hold to ensure that somebody else's life go forward.
And one of the things about serving, man, it comes without a reward financially.
No.
The greatest benefit of it is when you can see somebody and they say, hey, you helped me when I was at the lowest point.
Yeah.
And to be able to pause in a moment in time to recognize who you and your team has identified as leaders who are inspiring others to keep dreaming, man, I think that's commendable. And I think a lot of times we fail to give people flowers while they live.
Right.
And people don't know the burden that it takes to do something of this magnitude. They see it. They like people say, you see the glory, but you don't know the story.
The story too long to tell.
Yeah, it's too long to tell. So this is the first year back since the pandemic.
Right, since 2019. Yeah, we 3 years away from the game. Now we're back in stride again. And so I'm excited about that. And I figured now was the time to get back to what we do in honoring people.
And I mean, even when we look at the prayer breakfast, it was the same thing. I mean, this was our first year back after almost 2.5 years.
That's exactly right.
I mean, we did a virtual, but in person.
Yeah.
This was our first year back for the gala.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the sponsors, and then let's talk about some of the honorees that are going to be honored on that night.
That's great. Well, I think I'm very grateful. And thank God for the city of Tallahassee, Mayor John Deal and his team. I'm also really appreciative of Leon County, Commissioner Nick Maddox, Chairman. They all chipped in strongly to ensure that this dream came forward. I'd like to thank also, Cumulus Broadcasting, Prime Meridian Bank, going with the Sheriff's Department, Florida State, bought a table as well.
Wow. As a matter of fact, the president of Florida State was at the breakfast.
I saw
Dr. McCullum. I mean, he brought greeting.
Yeah.
And so I want to say this because it's events like this that we're able to bring into an all-inclusive event every part of our city.
Every part. That we're a very diverse city.
Absolutely.
And we have to show that diversity as we do our events, programs, because what affects one side of town directly affects the other indirectly. So we have to remember, at the end of the day, black or white, we're still Tallahasseans, and we still got to work together. So I think about our sponsors, Pittman Law Group and Essential Diagnostic Service, The Moon. Of course, we got Faze and Brooks, Tallahassee Leon Credit Union, Mega Ace Media, Noble, Piggly Wiggly, and of course, Island Seafood, which will be our caterers this year's gala.
Wow.
Yeah, man, we go big, go strong.
Go big, go strong.
Yeah.
And it's always rewarding to have partners and community businesses that see the vision and make the investment in the vision, because these businesses are supported by people in our community.
I agree.
And we want our community to know that they are giving back.
Yeah.
And that's important for them. It's important for us.
Yeah.
So big shout out to all of the sponsors of this year's iDream Gala.
Yeah.
And let's talk about some of the honorees.
That's no problem. And before I go to that, Pastor James, I got to mention Grow Tallahassee. Grow Tallahassee played a major role in this event as well. But our honorees, is you definitely got your people, like Carmen Cummings. You got
let's talk about that. Carmen Cummings, she's been around. I mean, we all remember her from WCTV News.
Who was in high school, right?
Right. I mean, and has been doing some major work in our community,
right.
man. Now she's over at FAMU. And I guess when you come to look at your team, to look at who are we honoring, I'm sure it's hard.
No doubt. No doubt. It's extremely hard. That's we have a team of people together who are like-minded, who can look at each person and say, okay, this year, this is who we're going with. That's not to discount the ones that we haven't chosen this year. That doesn't mean that next year or the year after we won't select them. But for the ultimate goal is to ensure that we have the right diverse group of people. And it lines up definitely with our mission or our theme for the year. And so that's Carmen Cummings has always been a part of our communities, whether it's on television, at FAMU, even with her Crescent Moon Gala that she did for those who have had cerebral palsy.
Right.
And I thought that was so important for someone who has been directly affected by the disease, not herself personally, but in her family.
Right.
And that's an important thing for her to see beyond her own situation to go for. So again, for all her many years of doing that, we thought it was so important that we honor such a great woman, Carmen Cummings.
Hey man, hats off to the Dream Gala team for the selection of Carmen Cummings. And let's keep on. Dr. Willie Williams.
Dr. Willie Williams, always been a part of our community on some facet. Very, very smart, intelligent brother who has demonstrated time and time again that education is an ally that you can use and you should use towards walking that road to success. Now, also working along with the distinguished young gentleman as a part of that. Also working along at with a variety of things in the city and the county. I think Dr. Willie Williams is worthy of such the Nehemiah Award. And of course, you know why we call it the Nehemiah Award, because why? Nehemiah went back to Jerusalem, where he came and rebuilt the walls, of the city to protect the city, to give it an investment. And that's what I believe Dr. Williams has done.
I mean, and when you look at Dr. Williams, man, one of the things that I really love about this guy is that he has a genuine heart. He's really concerned. He's concerned about the work. He's concerned about our youth, not only distinguished young gentlemen, but he's tied heavily involved with lamplighters.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I admire about him, when he believes something, he believes.
Yeah, man. That's Dr.
Yeah,
Williams.
he believes it wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
And he's not driven by the fact that he has a PhD. He's driven by the fact of what can I do to make a difference in the lives of these children, these young people that we see. So I celebrate all of his educational accolades, but most of all, I celebrate the heart that he has to make a difference in the lives of our young people.
Yeah, man.
I think Father's Day, he does something really, really big
with the bikes.
With the bikes, yeah.
Driving the bikes and riding the bikes. And of course, you got to be able to remember how to ride a bike. If you ain't been on a bike in a minute.
I'm telling you, so I really just go look, I celebrate, I cheer those who are riding on, because I know I don't have enough strength nor breath to ride one block.
Okay,
I can't even get on the treadmill. So I celebrate him for that. And so, what an amazing gala celebration and a gala honoree.
Yeah.
Dr. Willie Williams. Hats off to him.
Definitely. Then we also have, of course, Mr. Casey Dennis. He's the new president of the Boys and Girls Club of the Big Bend, and he has been working at the Boys and Girls Club since my son, Jacoby, my youngest son, was about maybe 5 or 6 or 7.
You're kidding.
And Jacoby is now going on 24. And so he's been with the Boys and Girls Clubs for more than 20 years, starting from the bottom, now he's at the top. And it's so good to see him in that capacity, because he has some posts for the children, posts for the family, and he's built a rapport with our children from from kindergarten all the way up. And so I thought it was high time that we pat him on the back and hold his arm up and say, hey, thank you for being a champion for our community. That's Mr. Casey Dennis.
And you know what, when you talk about Casey, man, you got to know that, when I look at him, and I've been watching him, with the Boys and Girls Club, I had an opportunity to work with him on several initiatives. But man, he treats that like a ministry.
Yeah.
And ministry is meeting the needs of others.
Yes, sir.
And he deals with those young people, man, with so much compassion and so much fear. It takes a special person, 24 years, It takes a special person and to serve in any capacity, and his level of humility.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the greatest things that I always say, man, if you really want to go up, you really give God a chance to lift you up when you can just be humble.
Yeah.
And man, what a humble spirit he has. And he has been able to do a lot of work on the South Side. I've been able to work with him with some of our formerly incarcerated initiatives. He's been right there. So man, I think it is amazing, an amazing moment of celebrating this young man.
Yeah.
So we look forward to that. So also, man, let's talk about this young man, man. I mean, he was great on the football field. I mean, he goes by AKA Shake and Bake.
Shake and Bake.
But Mr. Shannon Baker.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Shannon, but I've had the privilege of working along with Mr. Baker for at least 10, maybe 12 years when he was the executive director there at the My Kids. And I saw his passion for those kids. And My Kids that's like a second chance school.
Right.
And a lot of kids come in there with different attitudes, they come in there with different problems, behavioral issues. But I love the fact that Mr. Baker was able to hone in on those young people that was coming to his school. And he is one of those genuine guys that I just thought that, from the football field, to the battlefield of dealing with our community. And I think that his many years of service, and shaking and baking, if you will, in the community, man. I think that is so important. And we certainly want to, lift his arms up and say, thank you for being a champion for our community. I remember you in the football field, but I'm glad to know you also in the classroom with the young people.
And, I'm grateful for him as well, Doc. And it's just amazing that, every person that your team is celebrating and honoring, they are able to reach out into the community, touch those who are on the ground level working. I remember when Mr. Shannon Baker reached out to me about coming over to AMI.
Right.
I came over there and I did a program with him for almost 3 years.
I remember.
And man, let me tell you something. The heart that he has for those young people is just amazing. And I just say, this cannot be treated like a job, man. This has to be treated like ministry.
That's it.
Because you just can't do this no other way. You
agree.
cannot do it you cannot do it without a heart to know I've been called to do this.
Right.
And for him, just like Casey, well over 20 plus years doing this.
20 years, that's right. That's the thing about it, commitment, the consistency, towards the mission. That means a lot.
Yes.
Some people hit and miss. And I believe that if you're a church, if you're a pastor, and I'm sure Pastor James, you've been pastoring more than 10 years, more than 15 years. I know.
Yes, sir.
And they don't understand that ministry costs.
Yes.
It costs something. We may say it was money. No, it costs time. It costs some sleepless nights because it's ministry and it requires us to look beyond what we see in front of us. So it's good to see their commitment. It's good to see their heart, and it's good to see that they're still doing it.
Absolutely. Big shouts out to Shannon Baker, who's now with the Department of Juvenile Justice and doing an amazing job there. So who else is
well, we can definitely go on to your good friend and my good friend, the one that you're gonna have to sit down and have a conversation.
Yeah, I gotta talk to her. We're gonna do a conscious check with her because she's cheating on the station. I mean, you could have sent someone else. She's cheating.
Well, Pastor James, but I figure, of course, you can. What can you do? But applause, Christian. You can't do anything but applaud her. She's a woman on a mission. Woman that's always been very situated,
right?
Very knowledgeable, very versed, if you will, when it comes down to the community issues and our solutions. She has always been on the front line as long as I can remember her. Being on the front line, dealing with some issues, dealing with a lot of things that were going up and down, sideways. And so we had to lift her arm up and, thank her for being a champion because for the people, because she has shown that, you would think that, she has two little toddlers, running around, and she's a mother, she's a wife, she's a community leader, she's a businesswoman, right. She's a co-host on the show that y'all got to do a loyalty check on.
Don't say that too much longer. We're going to see what's going to happen after 30.
Let's go see what happens. Right.
But
so she's great.
She is. And the thing about it is, once again, we're back to people who you're recognizing are people who have that heart to serve.
Yeah.
I can't get away from that, because when you talk about the Nehemiah Award, you got to talk about, when you look at Nehemiah, you got to talk about no matter how the wall was destroyed,
Yeah,
no
man.
matter who didn't believe that he could work to rebuild it, he had a mind to work.
To work.
And he was not going to let distractors stop him from doing the mission.
That's it.
So when you look at the people that your team have selected this year to honor, there are people who got a mind to work. And thank you, Pamela Simmons shared with us on the thread that the disease that Carmen Cummings was working with is sickle cell.
Sickle cell.
Yeah, so thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. So that means people are listening.
That's good.
That's good. But Christique Henry is one who is very passionate about the work. She loves the neighborhood work. She loves the empowerment part of it. And so certainly, man, we celebrate her. I mean, this looked like she did the welcome at the prayer breakfast, introducing everyone. I saw that on last evening, she was, along with Nicole, hosting over at the revealing of the calendar.
Yeah.
So this week has just been her week.
Yeah, it has been her week.
Yeah, she's
been on it.
She's been on it.
So we gotta ask if she got any sleep lately.
Yeah, that becomes the question, and I understand now. She talked to me earlier today. Something in the neighborhood association is happening big, and she's 100% moving in that direction. So these are the kinds of hearts that have to serve unselfishly.
Yeah, man.
If there's going to be a difference made. So big shouts out to Christique Henry.
Yeah, but we also got none other than Terrence L. Barber, and he's a champion for the South Side of town. He's a champion for small Black businesses with the Working Class Wednesday and social mixes that he does to expose, or should I say, give exposure to up and coming businesses in Tallahassee. And so we wanted to applaud someone that we thought were working on behalf of building our economics, building, a network of people who are had the mindset to be entrepreneurs, who want to go further, who want to have their own thing. And I thought that even with his thing that he was doing, I thought that was commendable. And we all say, listen, let's lift his arms up and thank him for being a champion for the business community, for the Black business community, for the small business community, and also just for the things that he has done to bring attention to the issues that has affected our community in a negative way. So we certainly appreciate his positive attitude. And so we wanted to lift him up and say, hey, thank you, man. So let us lift you up on our shoulders and continue to thank you.
And one of the things about Brother Terrence, man, is like, I've always called him the bishop of business.
My man. My man.
I mean, because at the end of the day, when you're able to, reach out to give insight, information, and inspiration to other small minority businesses, not saying that you have all the answers, but you're saying, hey, as many of us who can pull together, as many of us who can unite, then we can be a force to be reckoned with, because we can learn from each other.
That's the ticket.
And I remember the first Working Class Wednesday that I went to was over at Dope Campbell Stadium.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so that's been some while. He's been very consistent at what he's been doing. And I understand tonight they're having a big social mixer over at Proof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what they serve. They serve Coca-Cola, right?
Yeah, I think they do. I think they put some stuff in there inside the Coca-Cola. So you just better check and make sure it's a Coke and
everything else.
Yeah, I don't want to say chicken, but it's another animal. So you gotta check. That's over at Proof. They're gonna be there tonight. It's called the mixer.
You're gonna need proof, baby. You're gonna need proof.
Yeah. So big shouts out to Terrence.
Yeah, man.
One of the things that I admire about him, and all of us can say this about ourselves. All of us ran for office.
Yeah.
And we learned some valuable lessons from it, and we don't downplay it, but we just keep moving. And from that, he has continually to move forward. I think now he's leading a group that he's founded called the Black. I can't even think of it, but I see the symbol.
I saw the flyer.
Yeah,
you sent it out to me this morning or last night.
Yeah, so that's amazing. So for those of you who want to find something to do this afternoon, it's the social mixer
Yeah,
that's going to be taking place at Proof Brewery.
I think that's what it's built. Yeah, the social mixer at Proof Brewery,
Brewery,
right there was
yeah.
on Monroe, right?
Right across from Subway.
Mhm.
And so if you want a lot of business owners are going to be there.
Yeah,
And that's part of the Working Class Wednesday. I think it's kicking off Black History Month.
yeah,
So that's going to be happening. And stop by
Yeah.
if you don't have anything else to do. So shots out to Terrence Barber for, I mean, just the work that he's doing to rebuild
yeah,
and
man.
to help small minority
That
businesses.
works. That always
do what
works. And certainly, last but never least, you know, our one and only commissioner, Commissioner Diane William Cox. She is the should I say the elder statesman, if you will,
Mhm.
of our community in so many ways. As she has really built a rapport, not just because she's in office. And I don't want people to understand that this is not because she's an elected official by a long shot. Mrs. William Cox has been working in our community
For a
way
long time.
She's ran for office on several occasions, and she wasn't successful in achieving that seat at that time. But it was all a working experience to get her where she is now. And I applaud her for always being a woman on the go, a woman mindset, representing the Black women of our community, representing the Black young girls who want to grow up to be a Commissioner Diane Williams Cox. And so we wanted to lift on her shoulders and say thank you, not just for being what you've done as a commissioner, but what you have done as a community leader, as before you became a commissioner, and while you are still a commissioner, because she has not allowed politics to dictate her policies.
Absolutely.
And I really love that about her. She's a steadfast woman. She's a praying woman. She's a wife. Of course, she's a mother, grandmother, I believe. And also she just has this mindset that she's not stopping until the Lord say, time up. And I believe that she is deserving of this honor.
And the thing about it is, her heart to serve, man, is one that is seen with a genuine spirit.
Yeah, man.
I mean, if she can do it, she's going to fight to get it done. If she cannot do it, she's going to tell you. She's not going to mislead you.
That's true.
And the thing about it is that what I've come to love about her is that she's always fighting for the last, the lost, and the least.
Mm-hmm.
And she's doing that, not from her position, but she's doing that from her passion.
Yes.
That's what it's all about.
That's powerful right there, Pastor James.
Yeah. So certainly we are excited about the honorees that are going to be honored on tomorrow night. Why don't you just call out those names again of all the honorees that's going to be honored on, is it tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night, doors open at 6 p.m., showtime 7 at the Moon. And of course, we are honoring Mrs. Carmen Cummings, Mr. Casey Dennis, Mrs. Christy Henry, Commissioner Diane Williams Cox, also Mr. Shannon Shaken Baker. We're also honoring Dr. Willie Williams, and of course, last but not least, Mr. Terrence L. Barber. And I want to say this, Pastor James, that each one of these honorees are honoring young people who are coming to also get the Youth Scholarship Award. So each one of the adult recipients selected a youth representative also to receive the award. And each one of these youth will receive $500 book scholarships. So when they go to college, they'll have some money to go with the books. They also receive awards. If I can quickly mention their names.
Yes, sir.
Definitely, we honoring, of course, Kaylin Jean, I think I pronounced the name Jean Lewis. Of course, we're honoring Maya Wayman. We're honoring, of course, she's at Rickards, and I'm sorry, Kaylin is at Florida State University High School, and Wayman is at James Rickards. We're also going with Jeremy West. He's at Godby High School. We're going with Jermaine Edwards. He's at Leon High School.
Wow.
Yeah. Also going with Joseph Marley. He's at Marlowe. He's at Childs. We're going with a Trey Copeland. He is from Gaston County High School. And then we have also Adrian McDuffie. Adrian goes to Lincoln High School. And we also have our our Dreams President's Award going to also Kirsten Ray. And she also goes to Lincoln High School as well. These kids are all excited. Their parents are excited. And I can officially say, as of 2:00 today, we are simply sold out. there is nothing else to sell for the gala. No more tables and no more arena seats, general admission seats. We have come to a stop because we want to make sure that everybody enjoys themselves and enjoys themselves broadly. So my grandma would say, make a spectacle of things. I'm making a spectacle of things.
Wow. One of the things that I want to give a big shout out to, man, I want to give a big shout out to you and your team for once you realized that you were able to bring this back to the people and celebrate it the way that you have done in the past, you went all out to make it happen.
Yeah. Appreciate that, my brother.
And now you have added celebrating our young adults with a $500 scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
That is an added portion to this dream, our dream gala.
I am dreams, and that's it. And I'm grateful for my sponsors who are taking care of the tab. My sponsors who went beyond the call of duty to ensure that happened for our young people. Because Pastor James, I would say that we have focused for the last 3 years or so gun violence and the victims of gun violence and the perpetrators of gun violence. Mm-hmm. That at some point we simply just took a small turn from those who are persevering, for those young people who have sidestepped these mines in order to keep on pushing to where they are now. Most of these kids who are getting the award tomorrow night, they're 4.5. I've seen one who's a 4.7. 4.7. When I was in high school, I thought the best you can get was 3 point.
No, I thought I was doing good with a 2 point. Hey, 4.7.
I said, man, when does it stop? And these are all young people in high school, and not just the academics, Pastor James. It's not just the academics, and it's not just the behaviors. It's the fact that they're all of them. When I looked at their applications, looked at their resumes, all of them, they're involved in the community.
And that's the key.
They're all involved.
When you understand the power of serving,
mm-hmm.
then everything else falls in place. Man, I want to celebrate you today. I really want to celebrate you and thank you so much for having partners and sponsors who can see the vision,
mm-hmm.
invest in the vision,
mm-hmm.
and help make the dream come alive in these young people's lives. And they're from various schools, I see.
I
mean, you name all the schools.
Mm-hmm. I called them all. I think I did.
Yeah, you missed one, but we on home.
Which one was that?
That's the one I graduated from, FAMU High. I'm gonna find out why nobody put in the application for FAMU High. We're gonna find that out. But anyway, but I'm grateful that you have, and the beautiful part about it is that these young people have been able to communicate with each other.
Yes, that's important.
And that's important.
That's so important. I think about it even when I had a Zoom meeting with all our young people. I was so impressed with the fact is that these young people, I'm sure they had distractions. I'm sure there was some pitfalls that was in front of them. But we also got to applaud their mamas and daddies, whoever has been leading them. Because I don't believe, Pastor James, and I think you might agree with me, there is no bad kid.
No.
They're just misguided kids that does bad things. And I think that if we start looking at it from a perspective of just being the guidance is not there, just being misguided, we can hopefully, prayerfully change the whole direction of that young person, that hopefully in the future, that next year when we do this again, because we'll do this every year with these young people, giving them awards, giving them something to say, hey, listen, you're the future. Our theme this year, Pastor James, is simple. It's, remembering the past, celebrating the present, and honoring the future.
Wow.
And that's the thing we're going with, because we're going to remember the heroes and sheroes from the 60s and 70s, Dr. King and Rosa Parks. We're going to remember, celebrate the ones we're giving awards to, right now. And the ones that are young people who are our future. Right. We're going to honor them as well. Because at some point, you and I got to retire.
Absolutely.
I want to go to the beach, and see.
Yeah, I'm going soon. I might be retiring real soon.
My man.
Yeah, I may be retiring real soon. But you're so correct, man. And I think that theme is one that all of us must really gravitate towards, because I think we got to honor the future now.
That's right.
We got to honor the future, because, if we don't take time to do what you're doing and pour into our youth to say, hey, we appreciate you and we celebrate you. Your resume says that you're investing in making a difference. That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. You summed it well, Pastor James. Thank you.
That's what it's all about. Now, let's talk about entertainment, man, because I know there is so much more to we already know who's providing the dinner.
Yeah.
We already know that it's top notch.
Right.
We already know that. Tell me what else is in store.
Well, we definitely, and before I say that, thank you, Pastor James, for always sponsoring and being support of my events, man. And I appreciate
And I told you I don't like people to know us. What I told you when I do stuff, what I say.
You said, yeah, I can't remember, but I thank you.
I do stuff and I don't like for my name to be noted, and
Well, I got some news for you, and the program is going to be noted. So I just want to let you know that.
I told you. See, you know what I'm saying?
You don't listen.
You don't listen.
Right.
Disobedience is a sin.
It is a sin.
But the thing that I love about you, I love about me, it's kind of like what we do for each other.
Yeah, man.
It's like, hey man, you ain't got to call my name. I want to pour into you. You say I want to pour. So we do that because we know how important the work is.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
And we know because we're doing the work, we know that at the end of the day, trying to sell the idea to people who can't understand can be frustrating.
It's right. Well,
it can be frustrating because they can't see it.
They can't see it.
And it's not designed to benefit us.
Right. It's designed to help others.
Yes.
There it is.
What you're doing on Thursday is making an investment into our community, into leaders that are serving, and into youth that are going to help keep the dream alive.
And that's the most important thing. So again, we've got Tallahassee Nights Live. Our good friend, Mr. Darius Doc D.
Absolutely.
The maestro, if you will, of Tallahassee Nights Live, and just a magnificent. And I've got to say, I've been knowing Doc, since we were in high school. As a matter of fact, I'm a little older than him, so he was still in high school when I got out, and he just proved himself to be that guy that who can do such a thing as bring Tallahassee Nights Live, a group of people, talented collective people together and sing. We also have featuring along with Tallahassee Nights Live, we have Mrs. Star Swain. She is going to sing one of her greatest songs. I don't want to reveal the songs yet, but she's going to come and reveal the song. We're going to also have none other than Frank Nims Middle School. Their choir is going to come along, and they're going to back up a few singers, but sing along with Tallahassee Nights Live. I've got the Omega Lamplighters who are going to be there to be our escorts. So I try my very best. Also I cannot forget the Maddox Dance Company, which is Commissioner Nick Maddox's wife. Her company will be an opening act. So you don't want to miss this, because I make sure that it's always about the youth.
I can see that.
It's always about our young people. And we want to acknowledge the adults, because without the adults, young people wouldn't be able to do what they need to do in order to be successful. So we've got a variety of different entertainment that night, and certainly we're not going to keep y'all there too long, but we definitely going to have a good time while we're there.
All right. Hey, listen, I'm talking to the founder of the I Am Dreams Gala, Pastor Rudy Ferguson, and it's sold out.
Yeah.
It's amazing that we come on the air to talk about events that's already sold out, that make people call and say, man, you just can't get one more seat.
Oh, man.
I had people texting me on Friday night, hey man, you can't. And I had to rush over to the Civic Center. Hey, David, can I get 2 more tables? He's like, where am I putting them? I said, put them anywhere. But Rudy, no more tables.
No more tables. Listen, I want people to be comfortable. I want them to enjoy. I want people to have a good time. So officially, no more tables can go out. I've got a stack of them. I had to shut off the website because it was still accepting payment. So I have to shut that off because I might have to reimburse some people. But if I don't, I'm gonna make a raise. But I had to shut it off because I think there's a few of them in there.
Yeah,
so shut them off.
And that's what got me in trouble. That's what got us in trouble. We were well over. I mean, we started out, and I know this happened with you. We started out with a contract for 55 tables at the Civic Center. My budget could handle that.
Right.
Then we went to 65.
Woo.
I got nervous in the service.
Then
we went to 70. I had to get at the altar and say, God, I know you are able to do anything. And I started saying what Leroy Thomas said, money cometh to me now. We ended up with 75 tables in that arena on Saturday morning.
And it was comfortable.
It was comfortable.
Very comfortable. Nobody bumped into each other. It was very comfortable.
And you made it clear you're not putting no
more tables. So Pastor James, don't try to finagle.
I mean, for those of you who are listening, I'm trying to help you
see.
because I'm trying to let him know.
Right.
It's not happening.
It's not happening because number one, all the tables, when I put this out, most of them got bought up pretty fast, from our sponsors. And then, of course, we got General Mission. And General Mission, I've reached the capacity of General Mission as well, is because I want to make sure that people are comfortable. It's not necessarily about the money.
No.
It's more so about the fellowship, the network, and just celebrating, the people that are coming. So hopefully next year I'll be able to go to the Civic Center like you, Pastor Greg James. But for now, I'm going to stick with the Moon because Scott Coswell has been a tremendous supporter of the I Am Dreams Gala since its inception. So I forgot to mention, I do appreciate him and his wife and the team there. Matter of fact, they're now putting the facility together for tomorrow night.
Wow.
And I'm excited and about all of the people who are playing a major role, our presenters that will be there to present, and none of the Nehemiah recipients know who's presenting the award to them. And lastly, I will certainly say I will my decorator, Mr. Melvin Collins. If you have never seen his work before,
God, he's amazing.
Amazing across the board. And it's going to be a very, our menu for tomorrow night.
Don't tell him.
Don't tell him.
I mean, don't tell him.
All right.
Because you're going to have people calling. So don't tell them.
That's right.
But here's the beautiful part about it. The beautiful part about it is, man, you are back in person with the gala. And I want to celebrate you for being back with the gala. Just like we were back with the breakfast. Listen, with the last 2 minutes that we have left, what do you want to say to our community? What do you want to say to all of our friends?
Thank you. I want to say to all of my friends, all of the community, thank you for supporting the I Am Dreams Gala, the Frontline Project, and the vision of what we are simply trying to do. You notice I say what we are trying to do to ensure that the Lord's work gets done by any means necessary, as long as He is proud. He's sanctioned it and anointed it. I believe that we're going to go the distance. So again, thank you so much to my friends, all of my family members, all of those who are just behind me in this vision. And I look forward to seeing, those. And remember, tomorrow night is a red carpet, black tie affair.
Red carpet. What that mean?
That means you got to dress up. You got to dress up.
You got
to show up, show out, and be seen.
Wow, red carpet.
Red carpet. I ain't playing around. So I've already got my tuxedo.
What?
So I'm already set. I know you keep one in the closet.
Oh my God. Okay. So it's happening on tomorrow night. Once again, man, so delighted to have you with us. Thank you so much for sharing with our community. Those wonderful honorees that are going to be celebrated on tomorrow night. It's going to be a plethora of entertainment. Big shouts out to Dr. Benny Bolden over at NIM.
Yeah.
Man, he's doing so much at that school.
Yes,
man.
He is.
I mean, every time I look on Facebook, I see that they're endeavoring. On the basketball court, they're doing it. On the football court, in the law courtroom, they're doing it. And now you're telling me they're going to be on the stage singing.
Yes. I was so impressed when I heard them sing one time. I said, whoa. And I gotta have them, because that's the ultimate goal, man. That's for them to enjoy themselves.
Wow. So it's happening on tomorrow night. That's at the Moon. Doors open at what time?
6 p.m. Showtime 7. I'm suggesting everybody that's listening to the sound of my voice, you want to get there before the opening act, because it's going to be super superb.
Wow. Thank you so much. That's Pastor Rudy Ferguson. I Am Dream Gala. It's happening tomorrow night at the Moon. And those of you who have tickets and tables, look forward to seeing all of you there. Until next week, I want to say to all of you, I want you to be encouraged. And remember, your history is His story. So when you remember His story, you're walking out history. Until next week, you be blessed and walk in the favor of God.